Welcome all you +2 comedy modifiers back to the stream. Welcome back to Solving the Witness, a laid-back annotated let's play where we try to discover the deeper underlying meanings of Jonathan Blow's The Witness. I now take you back to my let's play, already in progress. Also, I got a haircut.
We're gonna come back to this. Like, that's making my brain melt, so now let's go do something else that'll make my brain melt, I'm sure. Okay. Coming up here. I don't like that my character refuses to walk across these beams. Alright, we gotta make this tall again. Boom. 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 Yeah, look, tell me your favorite nerdcore band.
In case you're looking for some good nerdcore to listen to, big fan of MC Lars. I'll actually be seeing him this weekend at the East Coast Gaming Expo. Big fan of Kirby Crackle. Kirby Crackle has a lot of great stuff. I have like 3 or 4 of his albums. Big fan of his. Megaran, of course. Big fan of him. He gave me a people's elbow once.
Oh, but it looks like they're not done. Throws his hat. It's the most electrifying move in all of cosplay pro wrestling. It is a double.
Nice guy, that Megaran, big fan. Then there's a lot of really good wizard rock, you know, Whomping Willows, Harry and the Potters. They're pretty good, really enjoy them. Also, I just want to shout out real quick Nerd Surge, which are some buddies of mine that put together a little band that hasn't quite broken through yet. So be sure to check those out as well.
Ooh.
I just want to jump in really quick and talk about the placement of this panel. I find this placement very interesting because where is this panel? It's in the chimney. If you look at the way the building is put together, that's pretty much the top of the chimney, but it's not hollow. Like, the point of a chimney is that it's hollow so that the smoke can rise up and out of the house. If there's something solid there, that's defeating the purpose. It's just going to hold all that smoke and it's eventually going to leak into the house. Does this mean that's what happened? All the people died? Probably not. They probably just wanted to put a panel there, and thus they made that solid. But I just thought that was really strange that in a game that there's so much care in design of how things look, that the chimney is non-functional here. I have a theory about this, but that's going to come up a little bit later. But I wanted to stress right now that you find this panel in the chimney.
That's exciting. Okay, so triangles you touch only once. So that's, again, oh no, I was going to say there's multiple answers, but there's not. There's only this. Alright, got that one. Cool. Where's your border, bro?
I don't know if this is the first time that I brought this up, since I've recorded quite a few episodes that have not come out yet, but this is a very common reused asset in The Witness, where the second panel in a row of panels is slightly broken, and then the frame is entirely missing from the fourth panel. That's very common. If you look through all the different panels in the game and coming up later in the game, you will see this pattern very, very often. I think that maybe I'm noticing it for the first time because these panels aren't flush against a wall. They're kind of like tilted and put back away from a wall. I guess they're on kind of like a stand of some sort. So maybe that's why this is the first time it's really registering me. But if you look throughout the game, this is a common reused asset. Now, it's very easy to just write this off as a very common reused asset. You know, that this doesn't have any meaning. This isn't L is real. This is just the way that they made the panels look different than other panels by reusing this asset, and it's much easier than painstakingly I wanted a pan-fried steak, then painstakingly designing every one of these panels so that they're more original. It's much easier to just have an asset and copy and paste it around the island. I do think that it's very interesting to design a panel that doesn't have a frame at all. It seems like in a game about details and noticing things that this could be important. I just don't have any concrete evidence on the symbolism or meaning behind that decision. So I'm going to write it off as just a reused asset, but if you think that there is a very purposeful reason for this design choice, or if you want a pan-fried steak, please let me know in the comments down below.
Weird ass panel. Windmill. Oh boy, okay. Where's your border? Like, this one's slightly broken, but like, I don't know, the fact that the wires are hanging out of this one is very suspicious. Another one with multiple answers. Always bothers me when there's multiple answers. I don't think there's a way to do it where you could include all the whites together. Let's continue. All right. No, screwing it up. No. That's got to be the ending, so. There it is. I feel like we're getting words again. I gotta touch this dot. Oh, I gotta touch that dot last. So, no, because then, all right, we gotta separate black from white. We're doing this weird symmetry thing, and we have to touch that dot. How do? Yeah. Cool. This whole going from right to left instead of from left to right feels weird. There's something there for theory building.
All right, I guess since it was demanded, I will give a little bit of a theory about this. I looked into languages that are read from right to left rather than left to right. That might have been backwards for you. Cameras are confusing. In any case, two of the bigger languages that are read right to left are Arabic and Hebrew. I tried to see if any of the puzzles matched any of the characters in Arabic or Hebrew. Arabic is... it has a lot of like broken pieces. There's a lot of dots when it's you write in Arabic, so this didn't really match anything with Arabic. Hebrew, there was a few that if I like really squinted and forced my opinion upon, I could maybe argue, But these panels also have multiple solutions, so the idea that these panels are trying to spell something out in Hebrew is quite a jump in logic. But I made that jump and I tested it, and it seems to be wrong.
Hold on. No. Yes. No. No. Oh, I started the wrong. Okay. I like starting there. It's kind of just a problem I've developed that whenever I see I did it. The panels like this, I assume that they're words. So I kind of see like a G and a C and then like a question mark. Like G, C, question mark. But maybe not. Like this could be an S, but it's a very weird looking S. It's almost like it's trying to be a dollar sign. Like I'm saying that's a G, but I guess it could be an L. Like, I don't know. I always look for words whenever I do those puzzles. Oh, this is going to be important later. That's for sure. What did this power? Oh, that opened that door. Okay. Oh, right. We have to open a bunch of doors for this area. If memory serves. Because, oh my gosh. Yeah, we're going to come up here and we're going to make our way up. I'm going to guess I currently, because that's not powered. I'm going to hit a closed door. What a weirdly made tower. But Nate, give me your favorite band. Give me something to look up. I need a new music group. I haven't really checked in here. There's another one of those damn flowers in the chimney. It has something to do with Santa.
Okay, time for the big reveal of this episode. I think I have something here. I talk about these flowers all the time, and every time I say the same thing. These flowers are representing the different rules of the panels. And then I always bring up the symmetry one, because there's two separated that are reflecting each other, or the two that are together in the sun's area, because that's the rule for that area, or the one in the desert that's next to like a piece of metal that you can see other flowers in the glare. That's because all of those flowers very easily support my thesis that they are to describe the rules of the area. The thing about this one is it doesn't seem to be doing that. You find this flower in the town, and the town is kind of the area where you are tying together all the skills you've already learned. So there's no new skill to be learned in the town, so this shouldn't then be reflecting of rules of the area because you know all the rules and there's no new rules being introduced here. However, I have for you a thesis. I believe that this is very purposely put in a fireplace. Why? Because the fireplace is a place that this flower can grow where it is surrounded on three sides, which means the only way to go past it is in the front. You can only pass it or touch it once. And at the top of this fireplace is a throwaway panel that uses the triangle rule. And the triangle rule is you touch the square with a triangle in exactly once. I believe that this is the triangle rule flower. That's why it is placed in a way that you could only interact with it on one side. It's teaching you the rule of the triangle. I feel good about this one. I really, really do.
But that is the same flower that makes up the X by the windmill. Damn windmill, it's got to mean something more. Especially since this is the only purpose for this building. Like, I know we were just on the roof a second ago, but there's nothing in here. I'm looking for possible environmentals or like an audio clip. This would be a great place to hide an audio thing. But no. Also, what are these plants?
So I spent a lot of time trying to think what this building could be. I called one of the other buildings the church because it has a bell and, that's a place of worship. So you can kind of understand that building's purpose. And then there's, of course, the windmill, which is a windmill. But what is this building? This building has a lot of damage done to it and a chimney that doesn't make sense. So it's kind of hard to say exactly what this building would be, but it has a fireplace. It has multiple entrances. I want to guess that this is a residence. I think this might just be a home. And it's very interesting to think because I've always looked at the island as a place that people went to. Like this is like a journey, and you go to the island to achieve something, or you go to the island to build, like with my past theory about the orange shipping containers, that people clearly had to come here and bring materials to build things like the panels. The idea of someone living on the island is not one that I ever really took time to consider. Because how would you live on the island? There's not much to eat on the island. There are apples, but eating the apples would in fact ruin the island. One guy already did that. Thank you, Saboteur. But with it being destroyed, you could make the argument that someone hasn't lived there for quite some time, and maybe in the past there was more fruit growing, natural crops, maybe even farming taking place, animals naturally living on the island to be fished or hunted. But the idea that the island was once a place that someone called home is a very interesting concept that for some reason I've never considered into this moment. And they clearly don't live there anymore. And to kind of add like a time frame to this, the fact that there's like a church there would also mean that there would be lots of people living on the island because it was a pretty big church. So if you had services there, someone would have to run the church. The idea of a community that lived there naturally, I don't know why it's something that escaped me, but here we are talking about it. What happened to the people who lived there? That would probably mean that the people that lived there would either have gone to war with new people who showed up, which might imply things with the keep, because I did mention that it looked like there was a tar that had been dumped off onto a warring army that had arrived, or that they were gone when new people arrived. And then that begs the question, well, what happened to them? So, new things to consider here. I don't put a lot of stock in this. I just don't. The idea that there was such a history of people living on the island, it always seems like such a stop. It seems like it is a journey that you go on and then leave. The idea that this is your home, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I don't know. I'm very suspicious now. That's got to mean something. It's over here. Up, going up. None of the... Oh, right. This is the thing. This is going to affect the laser. Because we have this one laser that's a bit askew. As you'll notice, all of them are shooting at the mountain. Except for this weird one that's attacking a foreign country. We turn this and this will be a reflector. Oh, I went too far. Because there's also... Hold on, I'm not going to be able to do it from this perspective. You can also shoot the laser at this cloud, and then there is a certain spot where that cloud being white becomes an environmental puzzle with the clouds. I forget where I have to stand, but I know it's a thing I can do. So I'll leave it like that for now. Eventually we're going to have to turn it so it hits the mountain. Why is none of this powered? Oh. The town is such a weird place. Just follow the wire. Show me where you start, baby. There we go. Oh, there's something I gotta do here, too. Can I climb in through here? Yay. Yes, I need to open this. That's right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So I gotta do like this, I think. No, that's not it. Because like doing this is obvious. And then... Oh, I think it's just Hayata, like that. But then black and white are not separated. Can't. Yeah, that doesn't work. Is it like this, maybe? No, because then I'd have to do this. But that doesn't. Or I could do it the other way, like this. There it is. Smart boy. Smart. Oh, I'm so smart. Oh, damn. Door hit me in the damn face. Don't seal me in here. Alright, so triangles mean you touch them once, but there are two triangles that you touch them twice. Alright, so I believe now... What? What is this area? Dislike this. Oh, you know what? I think I actually know what this is. I think that's in the window. Do I have to be on the boat to do this one? I think I might have to be. Because now that that door's open, I think I have to be on the boat. There's like you can do an orange across, but I don't think I'm in the right position to make it work. Hey, we gotta talk about philosophy for a bit. Good thing I caught that. Let's see what we got going on here.
Your question is the most difficult in the world. It is not a question I can answer simply with yes or no. I am not an atheist. I do not know if I can define myself as a pantheist. The problem involved is too vast for our limited minds. May I not reply with a parable?
Sure.
The human mind, no matter how highly trained, cannot grasp the universe. We are in the position of a little child entering a huge library filled with books in many languages. The child knows someone must have written those books, does not know how, does not understand the languages in which they are written. The child dimly suspects a mysterious order in the arrangement of the books, but doesn't know what that is. That, it seems to me, is the attitude of the most intelligent human toward God. Albert Einstein, 1930.
Very interesting. So, atheist means that you believe there is no God. Pantheist, I believe, means everything is God?
All right, let's talk about this Albert Einstein quote. I couldn't find its origin. I tried to look for a while. There's a few people that quote it and say that this quote comes from Albert Einstein when asked, "Do you believe in God?" Which, from context, you can probably make that guess that that's what that question that led to this answer would be. But when I go to Goodreads, there is more to the quote here. And I have some theories on why it's excluded, but I did want to give you a little bit more of the quote here. So, we see a universe marvelously arranged, obeying certain laws, and we understand the laws only dimly. Our limited minds cannot grasp the mysterious force that sways the constellations. I am fascinated by Spinoza's pantheism. I admire more his contributions to modern thought. Spinoza is the greatest of modern philosophers because he is the first philosopher who deals with the soul and the body as one, not as two separate things. So, I believe that the reason this quote is being included is more of the context of where you found it than the context of what he's actually saying. And honestly, Player Noah does a great job describing this, so I don't want to steal too much of his thunder. The kid needs a win. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. I'll let him explain that in a moment. But I do want to talk about pantheism. I am correct in a way when I say that pantheism is God is everything. Spinoza's pantheism is not so much that the universe was created by God, but that God exists within the universe. So it kind of, like in times when I was reading about it, sounds a little bit like the life force and Gaia. But more of the idea is the universe works in a logical way with laws and purpose and patterns, but they are beyond our understanding. And the understanding and like the DNA of how the universe works is kind of sewed into everything that exists. And that through line of just what makes everything be is truly God. And God is not separate from us, but rather that force, that guiding light, however you want to define it, is just part of our universe, or in a way is the entire universe. I saw someone describe it as kind of the universe is God's body, and we are like the red blood cells and the heart and the blood and things like that. I'm not real big on that description because that gives me too much purpose to God, which I feel like is strange. I kind of think it more of what we are seeing as God is whatever the force is that is in the universe making it happen. And that's why I think it is important for understanding this quote in the context that Albert Einstein meant it, that we are not separating the soul and the body. It's very often said that, the body dies and then the soul remains, or that the body is your vessel. The idea that they are the same and not something that can be separated, I think is very interesting and a different way to see things, because when your soul is tied to your body, you kind of care for your body a little bit more. When this is just the car that drives your soul around, then it seems to be more expendable. But the idea of the mind, body, and soul all being one thing, I think is very important way to kind of consider things. I'm not saying it's correct, but it's definitely something that should be considered rather than keeping them separate and making your body more temporary and your soul eternal. When you tie the things together, it makes you kind of value both more. So that's the context that I believe Albert Einstein was kind of put into here. Again, I couldn't find the whole thing. I found a few attributed interviews that I read, and I was like, this quote's not in there. So if you know where this quote comes from, please let me know, because I want to read the full thing so I can get the full context of that. That's a big part of my research. And let me know that in the comments down below, and we'll revisit this one.
But usually these things have something to do with where you find them. And this one is right by one of these obelisks. So I guess the question, which has been purposely left out of that audio, it may not be, is there a God? It may be, what the hell is this? And the answer we get is this parable. And the parable is basically, of the library, is basically saying there is a reason, there is an order, there is a purpose, but you will never understand it. Because you're not at a level of that you can understand it. Now, it's very interesting, one, that Albert Einstein calls the child it, which, from my experience, you're not supposed to call kids it. The parents usually are not big fans of it, of that type of expression. They're usually big fans of their kid. That's why they don't like when you call your kid it. In any case, putting myself in the shoes of the child in this metaphor, technically, the child may be able to read a language, and with an infinite amount of time, could probably figure everything out. Like, it may not speak German, but if the library is full of books in all languages, some of them being German, there's probably a way, if the kid comes in with a language that they know how to read, that through enough time and knowledge and just reading the books and searching through the books, would gain the knowledge to read German and then could read the German books. But, it's a thought experiment but it does require that the child know something. They have to at least know how to read a language proficiently. Somewhat proficiently, at least. I think Einstein is not aimed specifically at the obelisk, but the simile between us not understanding why the game world is here and humanity. I think you got cut off a bit there. I definitely think the audio pieces or locations are important. I definitely think. What's up, Deist? Then you're gonna love this Let's Play. This is all about discussing its deeper meaning. Humanity not understanding why the universe is here. Right. I put forth the theory that not only are the audio clips important, but the locations that they're placed in is relevant. So, like, we found this audio clip in an enclosed area where the only thing in there is the obelisk. So I think it's supposed to directly relate to the obelisk in some way. Because we, as a person who has never played this before, may walk in here and think, what is this? And then hit this audio clip, and the first thing it says is the answer to that is not simple. Without saying what the question is, Einstein's actually addressing it. So I'm thinking it's taking the context of it and applying it to it. That's my theory. I could be completely out of my mind, but that's the theory I'm working on. Also, I want to put this forth. The town. I'm not totally convinced that the audio clips of certain areas have a similar theme and probably relate it to the area, but I'm not sure it's that specific location. My big reason for thinking that is back in the treehouse area. I think it's called the treehouse. I always call it the swamp. There is a audio clip that you find about a broken rowboat next to a broken rowboat. Like, that's my big evidence. But again, like, I have no idea what this game means fully, and I still believe no one has fully figured it out. So I'm just throwing out theories, and I'm glad you're here to not only just listen to them, but bring out your own. That being said, if you know where I have to stand for the stupid cloud thing that I set up, let me know so I can go do that, because I really want to get the cloud. I always forget that this is right above the theater. He's going up the mountain? Okay, I'll go up the mountain then. Oh, and I got more puzzles right here. Past the bridge to the maze castle. Okay, let's get that real quick. It's one of those things that if I don't do it, I will forget. So I just want to do it while it's on my mind. Oh, trees. Yeah, because there's the... Like, you can kind of see it starting to form now. Here we go. Look at it go. I'm not lined up right. It's so cool. That one's especially mind-blowing. It requires so much work. I just love that one. Yeah, I bring this up a lot during these Let's Plays. That Jonathan Blow in an interview said that this game purposely does not waste your time. And this game is about going through it methodically. That's why I find it so interesting that there's a run button at all. And not only is there a run button, but the game never tells you about it. Like, there's never a prompt to, press. For me, it's L2 because I'm playing on the PlayStation. but there's nothing that ever tells you to run.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Solving the Witness. Let's take a look at this episode's takeaways. One, my voice sounds really weird, right? Like it's way deeper than usual. What's that about? Let me know in the comments down below. Two, what is your favorite nerdcore band? I think Kirby Crackle is my absolute favorite. He's probably number one, or they, I'm sorry. The name of the band is Kirby Crackle. It's not Hootie and the Blowfish. There's no actual Hootie. I'm really scatterbrained this episode. I hope you enjoy that. Our next actual takeaway is the chimney. The chimney being broken and not working correctly. I feel like it's a design choice, but it still bothers me. What are your thoughts on that? Next is the panel layout. Why do you think they decided to have one panel be slightly broken and then one panel have no frame at all and then have that asset reused over and over again? Is it just to save on memory, or is there a reason for that specific design? The flower, is it meant to represent the rule of the triangle? I really think it does. I think it makes a lot of sense and it fits in with everything else around the flowers and the theories that we have about the flowers. Maybe you have something else? Let me know in the comments below. And finally, the building that flower is in. Is it a residence, or is that building something else? Maybe it was an office. And do you think possibly people at some point lived on this island? Let me know. And finally, the Albert Einstein quote. What's your thoughts on pantheism? And what is the context of this quote? Also, what is the context of this quote in terms of where you find it in the game? I think it's meant to illustrate that the obelisk is something of great importance that you may never understand. That's my theory for its placement and purpose in the game. But what do you think of it just from a philosophical point of view? And as always, be sure to subscribe right here to Plus2 Comedy Gaming so you'll get a notification next time we try to solve the witness.